Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. In the Zone, episode number 138. Tell you what, folks, 137 was very well viewed as well. We appreciate all of our listeners and viewers. I actually was on my way to pickleball last week and heard Pete and I on the radio, so that was kind of cool too. But we're back in the zone, folks. Pete Coles, MVP Pete. And Rich Sutter. And we talk about who's the MVP of the NBA, who's going to be player of the year in the colleges. Well, the MVP around here is Pete, folks. We jump right off every single week with Pete's Corner. It's the hottest take in basketball right now. Pete formulates, capitulates, and coagulates 3 questions for me. And then I do my best to knock them back over the net. Let's roll, Pete.
All right, so I watched part of the final NBA Cup game. One, it was unwatchable because it just wasn't. I didn't even see, like, okay, I watch college basketball because I don't have a lot of time to watch basketball. So when I watch basketball, I want to watch basketball. And the NBA right now, not, as far as I'm concerned, not basketball. So the 2 teams in the Cup that I don't really care about, and they're playing for something, who knows why we're doing this gimmick. Why should people even bother watching? Seriously. Like, I'm a casual fan, and I was like, yeah, okay, I turned it off.
If you were to really take assessments on this stuff, like turn off all the airport TVs, turn off all the bar TVs, where they just put the game on perfunctorily. Nobody's really watching it, but they put it on in the bar anyway or the restaurant anyway so that there's something up on the TV to watch. Sporting event. Most men, if there's a football game on, you put it on the TV in the bar. They'll love that. Okay? But right now, if you really pared it down to who actually is watching this stuff, I think it's going to be really, really hard for the NBA to make a case that that was or has been at any time, past, present, or future, been a success. The cup has runneth over. Now, I got news for you, Pete. In the zone, breaking news. They want to try and do this on college campuses. They want to take the cup out of the NBA arenas
Seriously?
and move them to college campuses.
Oh, the
NBA
games
going in and playing in Allen Fieldhouse in Kansas, playing in UConn's gym, playing all over in these regular college gymnasiums.
So why are they trying to co-opt another audience? Okay, that'd be cool. Now it will be question 2.
I think this is starting to become more like, you know how they describe the political theme these days as uniparty?
Yep.
I think that's what you're starting to see here a little bit, is uniball. NBA and NCAA in lockstep really right now. They're paying the players in the NCAA. And they look very disinterested like they do in the NBA, and it's affecting the performance of the play. And right now, but it looks to me like they're in lockstep. And to be honest with you, I picked up on something this past week which really kind of got under my skin a little bit, because if you go back, you ever look at some of the social media stuff, they have picked up a lot of these small market news agencies all saying the exact same thing.
Oh, that's a psyop.
Parroting it. Exactly. You're not reporting the news. It's a psychological operation.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is. Okay? So you have every single one of them all going ba-boom, 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 whatever it might be, they're all in unison. Well, I caught this from some of the coaches, I think maybe once or twice this year, where the issue right now is toughness. And they asked a bunch of coaches this week about toughness. Is this the NCAA and the marriage of the television people? Because that sounds like television people to me. Where's the toughness in these guys? Why aren't the games better? Why are all these blowouts on our television right now when we line up a great game of Michigan and Gonzaga gets absolutely throttled by 40 points? No bueno for the TV people. So I think I picked up on a little bit of that tension, and now I think you're having the coaches parroting. They're doing the same thing those small news agencies were doing. The coaches are all coming out, and they're all saying the same stuff about the same thing at the same time. It's a little scary to me, Pete. A little scary.
That's not good at all.
No bueno. But I think that's where we are.
So they're trying to co-opt smaller audiences. Do they know they're in decline? Is this what it is? Does the NBA know they're in decline? They're trying to grab on. See, here's the thing. I've become a fan of restaurant renovation shows, and the common theme among restaurant renovation shows is if you're running specials and gimmicks and all this kind of stuff to get people in the door, that means your food ain't good.
Product's bad.
That means your decor is terrible. That means your restaurant is bad. And so any number of gimmicks you run is not going to fix the problem. Am I on the right track here?
100%. I think we alluded to it in a week show ago, 2 weeks ago, where we said, stop digging. The cup stinks.
Yeah.
Stop digging. Now they're further digging to go, okay, now we'll go to college campuses. That'll make it so much better. College campuses, by and large, are a separate audience from the NBA.
Yeah.
By and large. For many, many years, they've been separated out. Most of the guys I know that are super, super college basketball fans don't ever watch the NBA.
Yep.
They don't ever watch it. NBA has a certain category of clientele that's not the same as the NCAA. And if your question portends to it, I think, yeah, you're starting to see a little bit of that uniball. Going to see that uniparty. Everybody saying the same stuff. Everybody doing the same stuff. And to be honest with you, there's two things at play.
I'm waiting for the NCAA to have a midseason tournament.
No doubt. They'll have a cup next. Here's the thing, though. Do they know? They have to know. Since the Michael Jordan era, NBA viewership is not strong.
No.
Not strong. And right now, they don't have the marquee where they had that Bird and Magic tension, and then you had Michael kind of versus everybody else tension.
There's just no rivalries right now.
They don't have any tension right now.
No.
There's no tension. And right now, OKC's ready to blow this whole thing right out of the map and make it almost totally non-competitive right now. Once that happens, nobody's going to watch it. Nobody's going to watch it. Once they figure out that half of the league right now, not half, but right now you're in at least 10 teams right now that are OOP. They're right in we haven't even made the All-Star break, and they're out of the playoffs already. Then you have a bunch of other teams that are in the middle right now that are just middling, trying to maybe this is where it might get a little exciting, and this is something I think the NBA should play up more, is their trading deadlines coming. And people want to see some blockbuster trades. They want to see some movement. They want to see some people move on so they get, everybody's waiting for the Giannis shoe to drop. Everybody else is waiting for that, whoa, we didn't expect that one to drop. Those are the things that keep people interested in the NBA. That's what kept Woj alive in the NBA. Shams Charania now, the guy who's doing the reporting on the NBA, that's what kept those guys alive for all those times, is those transactional things that people are actually interested in.
Yeah.
I don't think they're any interest in the Cup.
You want your team to have some hope.
And they tried with New York and San Antonio. They wanted to bring Wembanyama into the thing and bring the Knicks into it because you get a major market there. It's just it's failed. You can see it. Nobody has any interest. Will they keep going? Probably. When will they stop it? When there's a little bit of plausible deniability in the middle of it. When they can say we stopped it for another reason other than it stinks.
We lost our sponsorship. You watch. That'll be the excuse.
That's the day it happens. That's the day it happens. All right, we got another one, Pete, or?
Yeah. Is there anything? Is there any break in college basketball, at least Division I nowadays? They don't really follow an academic calendar anymore, do they?
They kind of do.
Okay.
Because they kind of have to, but a lot of none of these teams are ever playing on the road, most of the major teams. So they're just home games, and that's good for the bank because you're selling tickets. You're getting the coffers moving. You're getting some of that NIL money going. But then you'll come to Christmas time, and I've always been a big fan of the break that we have. We'll be on break right now until the 30th of December. Nice little 10, 11-day respite. Get ready, fire it up again. Division I has too many games in order to make that fit. So they got to play now, which is what you would now term your exam period, which is, I almost laugh when I say that, because it's just...
Who? What? What is this exam thing you speak of?
It's campus-wide now, too. It's campus-wide now, too, but that's a whole nother story for another day. But, now you got exam period, supposed to be, right up until maybe a day or two. And then everybody, what happens normally is, you'll clean out all the dorms, clean out all the residence halls, send everybody home. Everything's shut down.
Yeah,
Go in there and do a little bit of cleanup, do a little bit of maybe painting and some other things. Right, deferred maintenance that has to be done. But at the end of the day, those guys don't, live a normal existence. They'll move into a hotel. They'll put the team in a hotel for 5 days, and they'll practice and they'll do their thing, or they'll go in the dorms like our guys do when they come back, because our guys will come back on the 30th of December, but school doesn't open until after the Monday after Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, right.
The
it's
Tuesday,
intersession, yeah.
The Tuesday after Martin Luther King Day. So we'll have that period of time, which we call intersession. Pete just alluded to it. And that, takes you a good way up now, because we're going to come back and play, 7 games before that intersession ends. You'll play 6 games in intersession, and by then, it's done. Your season's done. You're on a downhill slide. You're just going to finish, get ready for playoffs, and as soon as Martin Luther King Day comes, that goes really, really fast after that. All right, Pete, great job. Number 1, 2, and 3, really, really good. I'm going to turn my folder over here, folks, and start off with our dog bone segment. We love this segment, and Shamrock likes it, my dog at home, too, because he gets to eat the bone right after the show. All right, college ranks. We're going with Trey Donaldson. All right, he's averaging 14, 3.6, and 6.8 for the Miami Hurricanes, and one of the real reasons Miami Hurricanes are resurgent in 1 year. New coach Jai Lucas doing a good job down there. Trey Donaldson, Michigan transfer, one of the real reasons they're doing it. He's tough. They're tough, and they play a brand of basketball that's a little bit difficult to defend, a little bit difficult to prepare for. So I like Trey Donaldson for the bone this week, Pete, and Max Reynaud. All right? I love this. I love this because we do this show. We tell you what's going to happen. We tell all the NBA general managers what's going to happen. And then they draft the wrong guys. And then we pick up on it. And so Max Reynaud, Pete, all right, we had him 7th. He was taken 42nd. We had him 7th. That's a big disparity. All right? Now we're going to tell you why he's going to get the dog bone. 29 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Shooting the 3 ball at 7 foot. He's going to have a shot. If this continues, he'll have to have a shot because he's on the Kings. And the Kings have said, now, let's put some of these young guys in the rotation. We're losing. We're almost out of the playoffs. Let's get some of these young guys ready so we build up for the future.
What do we have to lose?
He's the future.
Yeah.
And my God, he has really, really turned out. Put him in the starting lineup a couple of weeks ago. And I am just, I guess I would say I'm in awe of myself, Pete, because you and I, what we put together here, 7th. We took Derek Queen 3rd. We took Zach Edey 1st. No media people in the entire country said take Zach Edey 1st. He's dominating right now. How do we know this stuff? Because we're in the zone, baby. We're in the zone. All right, Power 15, Pete. Let's rock to it. No big surprises up on top. OKC Thunder 25-2. My God, they're running away with this thing. 27 games in, and they have 2 losses. Their losses are a cup loss to the Spurs, because I think the NBA wanted Wembanyama to get into the cup final there so he could be showcased a little bit. And then you also have their loss to the Blazers, 2-point loss to the Blazers. So they've been right in every single game, competitive, and that's what I like about them. They don't take nights off. In the NBA world where everybody not only load manages, but they just take complete nights off. They don't show up. They don't play hard. They get blown out. OKC don't let that happen to them. They go out on the road, they're stalwart. They go at home, they're protecting their home court with everything they got. I really like this team. I like this organization. 25-2, what's not to like? Detroit Pistons, this is the big surprise. 21-5 and holding. 26 games in. When they started off hot, I said, well, let's keep an eye on this. Let's see how they can remain buoyant. because that ain't easy in the NBA to keep buoyant. You're seeing the Celtics having trouble remaining buoyant. The Indiana Pacers having real trouble remaining buoyant. You're looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers having trouble remaining buoyant. All right, Pete, let's flip it to the Nuggets. This team's on the move. Maybe the move with Adelman was the right move, but this team's on the move. 19-6, they're rising in the ranks very, very steadily and moving at a good clip. They have the Joker, one of the two best players in the game right now, and they're built around that. They do not, and we've alluded to this in the past, they do not have the depth that they've had in the past. And that's the thing that's drawing this team back a little bit. But to be in a number 3 position in all of basketball for the Nuggets, I think pretty good. Here's another one that's on the climb, Pete. Take those Fire Mike Brown signs down.
I was going to ask you.
19-7, playing great at home. Really, really solid. They're number 4, and they're number 2 in the Eastern Conference, and right there behind the Pistons. So that's going to shape up to be a nice tight race as we go forward to see who'll get the number 1. And it's not out of the realm of possibility that somebody else pokes back in here. Gets hot. It's early enough. But right now it's starting to form. L.A. Lakers in 5-hole, Pete. 18-7. They're 7-3 since LeBron came back as well. So in the last 10, he's been back for 9 games. They're 7-3 in those 10 games. So they have been able to move him back into the lineup. They were playing great basketball without him. And that's something, if I was management right now, not sure what you're going to get from him, but I might think about moving him because he's becoming a little bit more of a detraction, I think, than an addition.
Coach, I saw a clip of him in warm-up gear. He's practicing his golf swing on the bench. Sitting there. They showed him practicing his golf swing, and it was so blatant that the announcers commented on it.
He did a similar thing with the Phoenix Suns. They were losing the game. They were at home, and he's down there chewing it up with the Phoenix Suns, laughing, clapping hands, and doing all that other stuff. I think they just, made him too big, and right now he's so big they can't even put a pin in it. To blow some of the air out of it.
Yeah, sure.
The only thing is it's going to have to be, do the Lakers want to continue like this? Do the Lakers feel like they're a very, very good team? If you package him to somebody right now, what could you get?
Yeah.
I don't think his marketability is very high because he's got a year, maybe 2 left. But that's an interesting one. Keep an eye on that on the trade deadline because I think Luka and those guys in that locker room think they're better without him. I think that's what they think right now. San Antonio Spurs, 18-7. Really, really good year. Wembanyama's having a very strong year. Stephen Castle is back. Harper is back now, too. If they can keep their lineup intact, that's a nice, young, solid lineup. Let's see how they go as they move throughout the beginning and the rest of the year. I think the whole key there, obviously, is Victor Wembanyama. All right, Houston Rockets 16-7, solid, very solid. Durant over there, I wasn't in favor of that trade. I really wasn't. I thought it would be okay. He's there, probably a good mentor to some of the young guys, but right now his defense stinks, and his ability to get by his man isn't what it once was. He's been relegated to a perimeter shooter at this point, and I think that's good. He's a great shooter. He's a great player, knows how to do a lot of things, but his inattentiveness to defense, and he's like LeBron. He's one of those older guys, been in the league a really long time, amassed major accolades in the game, but just not there for me right now in this young gun NBA where these guys are just so good. All right, Minnesota Timberwolves climbing 17-10. I like them. I like them a lot. I just think they got to get this team together, and they got to go Gobert. They got to get Rudy Gobert back. They got to get the big guy back in the middle. Then they can make some waves, I think. Toronto Raptors, another surprise team, 16-11. This is called roster integrity. Scotty Barnes, R.J. Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, they've had these guys a while now, kept them together, they're growing, they're getting better. And if you just keep your guys together in the NBA, you're going to be doing better than some of these other teams that are constantly in flux, constantly in fluidity. All right, Celtics right there, Pete, 10, not bad. Not bad. Let me ask you a question, Pete. If we started the year, given the roster that the Celtics have, and no Jason Tatum for the entire year possibly, would you have accepted 15-11 at this point as a record?
Yeah.
Would you take that?
Yeah.
I would too. With
You
their
said
roster.
they're going to be no bueno.
Yeah, with their roster, I'm surprised. And Jaylen Brown's doing great. White's doing good. Namias Quader's been very, very good for them as a big man up front. If you go back in our drafts, you'll find out we love Namias Quader as well. Orlando Magic, 15-11. Up and down, up and down, up and down. A little bit injury bugged right now, but they've got to develop. I say it all the time about this team, but they have to develop more consistency of effort. They have to stay off those long losing streaks that they have a tendency to fall into. Philadelphia 76ers, 14-11, basically no Embiid, basically no George. They're getting a maximum out of Maxey, and they're getting great effort out of VJ Edgecombe. But right now, the rest of the team, kind of like the Dallas Mavericks, where you're looking around that locker room going, God, whose stall is that? And who goes over there? Because these guys ain't been around a long, long time. All right, Sixers, 14-11. That's good, solid. Miami Heat, 15-12. No matter what happens, they're maintaining Heat culture. And at the end of the day, they can say they kept their skin. That's what Pat Riley's all about in his business right now. When he walks out that door, he's going to be able to say that he kept his own skin. He never turned it out to try and get some extra W's. When guys didn't fit and comport with Heat culture, they moved them and they got rid of them. And sometimes they took a hit like they did on the Jimmy Butler trade, but they did it for their locker room sake, for the traveling on the bus sake, for all of that interaction you have when you have a mercurial superstar like that who sometimes doesn't want to fit in to what you're doing. That's not Heat culture. All right, Phoenix Suns 14-12 and Atlanta Hawks 15-13. They got Trae Young back now after a 22-game absence. We'll see how that goes. Pete, I want to just share this with you. 25-2 on OKC. The Wizards 4-20. My God, that's such a schism, such a big split. And you wonder, with some of those teams on the bottom, are they ever going to get better because they make such terrible, terrible decisions, especially in and around their drafting and their trading of players? I don't get it. Pete, here's the lowest free throw percentage of the season.
Okay.
All time. Right now, you have a new low. New York Knicks, Mitchell Robinson is shooting 20. Hold on, folks. 20% from the free throw line. He goes to the line. He's a pro. He takes 10 shots. He makes 2. You know who wasn't on this list? Shaquille O'Neal. I was shocked. But when you hear the rest of these numbers, you're going to go, man, he probably just missed. All right. Ben Wallace, he's a numerous time episode on this list. Terrible foul shooter. 33.6 in the second spot. Andre Drummond, according to Andre Drummond, he's the greatest rebounder of all time. And according to me, he's one of the worst free throw shooters of all time, 35.5 on the year. Ben Wallace again, 35.6. Way to go, Ben. We add up your 2 years, and you're shooting 68%. Most guys in the NBA are over that. It took you 2 years to get to 69%. Clint Capella, 37.9. Wilt Chamberlain, 38%. DeAndre Jordan, 38.6. Andre Drummond again. How you doing, big rebounder? 38.6. Andre Drummond again, big rebounder, 38.9. DeAndre Jordan, 39.7. Okay. I got something for my people, though. Okay?
All right.
What do all of those guys have in common?
They're all good defensive players.
Yeah, they are. Mostly. That's a great call, Pete. That's not where I was going with it.
Okay.
But what else do they have in common?
They're big men?
Big. They're huge. They're all 6'10 or better because their hands are so big they don't fit on a normal basketball like everybody else's does. Shaquille O'Neal holds a basketball. It's like Pete and I holding a grapefruit. It's a huge difference. People don't ever give that estimation to it. And maybe they should let the guys that are 6'8 or better shoot with a bigger ball. I don't know.
They'd have to increase the size of the hoop.
That's awful. Okay. If you look at this game that was on last night, the final score was even more astronomical. But this is Los Angeles Lakers versus Utah Jazz. Do you know what letter is not in any of that? D. Defense. 78-73, the Lakers were losing at halftime to the Jazz. Now, the Jazz give up $126 a game, so that's not bad. But last night, I think I lost track of it because it was so late. I believe the Lakers hung like $143 on them, and then they fell off.
Ouch.
All right, let's have a little LeBron. Pete, you've asked me this question in the past. When's he going to pack it in? When's the day? When's the time? Are we going to have a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar year where we go around the NBA and everybody gives him a gift and does that stuff? I'm okay with that.
Like a John Cena tour.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. But I don't know what it looks like right now. When does he stop? When does it look like? I wanted to give you this, all right? Because there's some nice stuff in here, and then there's some other stuff that might say, it's getting close. We see some depreciation, all right? Averaged 25 points a game for 20 consecutive years. That's amazing. 25 points a game for 20 consecutive years. That's amazing, okay? But right now, he's averaging 17.6 at 41 years old. Surpasses Kareem, who was 41 and set the record for 10 points a game. So it shows you how difficult it is to play into your 40s in the NBA, okay? But right now, he's 17-6 on an average of 27 lifetime career. He's 9.4 points off of his total right now. Forget the attitude stuff. Forget all the stuff of him yakking it up with the Phoenix Suns and everybody else in the NBA that aren't his coaches and teammates. 5.7 rebounds, down from 7.5. He's off about a 0.8 there, 1.8. All right, 7.2 on assists, 7.4 on assists. Very, very small diminishment there. Here's something that's telltale. He's 50.6 for his career field goal percentage, but this year he's shooting 46.9. Now, he's only played 9 of 25 games also. They're 7-3 in their last 10 when he came back, which is about where they are right now average-wise. They're 18-7, and they're 5.5 games off OKC right now. It's pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Giannis, a lot of Giannis talk lately, and his agent appears to be talking to the Bucks. Giannis didn't want to answer the questions about it the other day, so came up with something. I was a little surprised with him because he's usually pretty good with the media. But he basically just came out and said, my agent works for me. And so if he's talking to the Bucks, then he's talking to the Bucks for me. I'm locked in trying to get this season turned around, although he hasn't played in weeks. And that's what his comments were. Kind of fell short of the expectation of excellence that I held. Kevin Garnett, Celtics great, is working back with the Timberwolves. A-Rod bought the Timberwolves. Alex Rodriguez, the shortstop third baseman for the Yankees, bought the Timberwolves with another business partner of his. I think it's a pretty good move to bring Kevin Garnett back in because he's an NBA veteran, great player, and he might be a good mentor to some of your young players. Here's what I want to tell you. You could bring in Red Auerbach, and some of these young players ain't going to listen to him.
Yeah.
Some of these young guys ain't listening to nobody. They'll call Garnett, he's old. He used to be. He's a has-been. Some of these young guys don't respect the old stuff. And so when you bring in a guy like that, I hope it goes well. But some of them young guys that are in this league, that are in right now, I don't know. I don't know. All right. The NBA lifted $25,000 from Ime Udoka of the Houston Rockets for being critical of the officials. All right, that's one of the worst rules ever created in basketball, okay? It's a law of unintended consequence also because now they're above reproach. The NBA officials and other officials, NCAA as well, they're above reproach when they shouldn't be. They should be criticized. They should be in the same forum as everybody else. It's kind of like NFL quarterbacks with officials right now. You put a red shirt on them, and now you can't question anything they do except look at the television and go through all of the litany of bad calls you see all the way through it. I think it's a tough job, okay? But it really, really, very, very rarely will get a positive result when you just keep doing stuff like that. Adam Hayo Silva states with a straight face that the Cup is looking for NCAA arenas to play in. Okay? Stop digging, Adam. Stop digging. Rookie of the Year board for In the Zone. We've got Con Knuppel from the Hornets saying solid. very strong. Great start. We wanted to see what happened. He's right there. Cooper Flagg's rising. Cooper Flagg is rising on the board. Had a couple of really, really good games lately. Starting to feel his old self again. I think the pressure, of everything just might have, being number one and, again, now basically having to turn around and save the Mavericks because you never see Anthony Davis. You never see Kyrie. They're the 76ers of the West. Cooper Flagg in this 2 spot. VJ Edgecombe, going to leave him up there, although he started out really well and he's kind of fading right now and playing good basketball, but this is a rough season, especially for a rookie that starts every single game. There's probably going to be some ups and downs. Cedric Coward of the Grizzlies, love him. Really love him. Derek Queen of the Pelicans is rising. Triple-double the other night, and we had him in the 3 spot, Pete. I got Max Renard going to climb that board. If these things continue the way he is, he's going to be Rookie of the Year because the Kings are going to leave him in there, and he's going to amass monster numbers every single night like this. You're going to go between Queen and you're going to go between Renard for Rookie of the Year. Anybody out there looking to get it. I like Kalkbrenner as well. He's not going to be in NBA contention, but I like him. Our MVP race, it's pretty simple. It's not that complicated. You got SGA, the winning, 25-2. How do you disregard that? But Luka, my God, averaging a triple-double. How do you disregard that? This is the 1-2 of the NBA right now that just makes it really difficult to get a hold on this thing, although the Nuggets are playing great basketball right now too. So it's going to be a year where Joker comes in and gets it. Luka has been playing great for the Lakers as well. I think that's your kind of three-way race going on right now. Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, and Cade Cunningham playing very well. Cunningham, 27-6-9 right now. 27-6-9. If you want to know why the Pistons are moving up the ladder like the Pistons are moving up the ladder, CC, Cade Cunningham. All right, in the zone backdraft. We want to take you back, just like we've been talking about a little bit here, and give you a couple of the picks that we took that were absolutely, left unregarded by some of the NBA, not highly regarded as we had them, and it looks like it's turned out that we're going to be right, and some of them guys are going to be way, way wrong. Zach Edey at number 1. He was taken 9th. That's a big difference. All right, Max Renard, number 7. They took him at 42, Pete. 42. I give the Kings a lot of credit for grabbing him there, but there's no way the Nets should not have grabbed this guy with one of the 5 first-round picks that you had. You could have had Queen and Renard and a bunch of other guys, and instead you got stuck with the bums that you got. Okay, Derek Queen, we had him at 3. He went 13. Ryan Kalkbrenner, we had him in the first round somewhere in the 19-20 range. He went 34. He's one of the leaders in field goal percentage right now and in blocks. Kel'el Ware, we had him at 11. We had him at 11. Went 15th. Filipowski, we had him in our top 10. Second rounder. Quentin Post, I like this one too. Golden State Warriors took him. We wanted the Celtics to take him at 30. And the Celtics didn't take him at 30. And he went to the Warriors and much later in the second round, and he's doing really well. Big man, 6'11", plays hard. All right, Pete, let's run through some stats. I'm checking my clock here. We'll run through some stats quickly. Your point leaders, Luka, SGA, Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, and the Joker. What a 5 group that is. 34.7 for Luka, though, all the way down to 29.8. For the Joker, so there's a big differential there. But nobody, and I mean nobody, has been climbing like the Joker. All right, rebounds, Joker, 12.4. The big cat, Karl Anthony Towns, 11.9. Out of St. Joe's in Metuchen, New Jersey, by the way, Pete. Zubac, 11.5. Doran, 11.0. And Isaiah Hartenstein for OKC. What a pickup that was for them from the Knicks. No way the Knicks should have let him slip. Assists, the Joker leading in assists, 10.8. Cunningham, 9.2. Josh Giddey, 8.9. Luka, 8.8. Luka's having a monster year out there. Jalen Johnson, 8.2. We got 2 white guys leading the NBA in block shots. 2 white guys. Jay Huff at 2.5 and Kalkbrenner at 1.9. I don't have Wembayana in here probably because of the amount of games that he's missed. All right, we got Buster, Poindexter, Pete. Not a lot of hot, not a lot of not hot this week. Just coming off that cup, maybe, just kind of threw things into the wrench. Some teams that had losing streaks were able to get off of them. Some teams that had winning streaks got bumped a little bit and haven't been back on it. So we're with the Pelicans. I put this down there because they've won 2 in a row, Pete. And you might say, Coach, that ain't much to be on the hot side of a Buster Poindexter hot side. Who's hot? But that's the Pelicans, and they've won 2 in a row. You got to be excited.
Yep.
Knicks won 6 in a row. The Nuggets 5 in a row. Pistons 4. The Spurs 3. They're hot, hot, hot. Not hot. The Clippers. Oof. Ice cold Clippers. L4. Kings L3. Pacers L3. They're 18 and a half games out of the front lead in the Eastern Conference. And guess what? They were the NBA runner-up last year. Unbelievable. Let's shift gears like we're in that Maserati of In the Zone, and we're going to slip right into our Super 25. We're going to have graphics for you next week, folks, on the Super 25 as well. Arizona, 10-0. 10-0. We got them. We had them. Ken Palm and Torvik out of their minds. Torvik has them at 6. They just beat Auburn and Alabama to go in with UConn, Florida, and UCLA. 5 of their 10 wins are in the top 25. Yeah. And you don't have them number 1? Come on. Your algorithm stinks. I got Duke number 2. I like this team. I like them a lot. 11-0. They're 5-5 on the Ken Palm Torvik side. 5-5. They have them 5th. They're 11-0. What more do you want to see from them? Now, I like Michigan too. Everybody has Michigan 1. I don't buy it. 10-0, 1-1. I get it. They have them. Ken Palm and Torvik have them both at 1. We have them at 3. They're a great team. They're a great team, but they don't have the same wins that Arizona has. They don't. All right, Iowa State, the Cyclones are blowing the roof off of every arena that they enter right now. 11-0, 7-4. Torvik has them 7. Ken Palm has them 4. I don't get it. At least me and Ken Palm agreed on that one. But 7 on an undefeated team? UConn, the Huskies, watch where the Huskies go because the Big East is going to be lit up this year. Comes down to St. John's, but I'm looking at UConn's roster against St. John's roster. The point guard ain't dead. The point guard ain't dead, folks. Silas Damari might be the difference in that. All right, they're 11-1, 2-7. Torvik has them 2. Ken Palm 7. Purdue 10-1. They're 10-6. They're 10-6. They dropped them hard off that loss, but I got them at 6. Houston 7, 10-1. Houston, we have a problem. It's your schedule. 4-9. Torvik and Ken Palm have them. That's probably right around where they should be. Michigan State 10-1. They got them at 9-11. I got them at 8. A little bit low. A little bit low for them. Vanderbilt, 11-0. Byington, we're buying Byington. They right now have them at 8-10 in Ken Palm. That's as high as Vanderbilt's been in years, in a lot of years.
Yeah.
BYU, 10-1. They're 11-8 in the Ken Palm. We got them right there, pretty similar. Gonzaga, 11-1. They have them both at 3. They both have Gonzaga at 3. I don't get it. I really don't get it. They got mashed like potatoes against Michigan. Arkansas, 9-2. I like this team. Listen where they have them. 21-25. They're 9-2. Their 2 losses are really, really credible losses. I don't get it. North Carolina, maybe a little anti-Calipari theme there. North Carolina, 10-1. Again, they got them 24-22. They're 10-1. One of the best freshmen in the country on that team, Caleb Wilson. I don't get it. Nebraska, the mayor, Hoiberg. Oh, my goodness, 11-0. People are sleeping on this team. I watched them. They're pretty good. 22-21 they have them. They're 11-0. You're almost halfway through the season undefeated. Georgia, Mike White, 27-23. We got them in the 15 spot. Iowa, 16, 9-2. They have them 19-20. We got Louisville. They've lost another game, 9-2. 15-14, we're all pretty consistent there. USC, 11-1. They have both have USC at 11-1, 38th. 38th.
38th?
Big Ten. 11-1. I know their schedule hasn't been that great, but they're 11-1. They got them at 38. I don't get it. Here's another one. LSU, 9-1. This team's good. This team's really good. 34-35. Alabama, okay, I got them 8-3. They have them at 13-17. I have them at 20. Here's Alabama's losses: Purdue, Arizona, Gonzaga. Those three very credible losses.
Good teams, yeah.
Three good teams. Everybody else they've taken care of business with. Virginia, 9-1, 23-24 on the other side of the algorithm. Great job by Coach Odom taking this from, getting right into this program in year one, really, really revamping that roster. Keep an eye on Virginia in that ACC. They may pose a problem at the top. All right, we've got Missouri 10-2, 43-52. They have them 43-52. We got them 22. Missouri's legit, very legitimate. Oklahoma State 9-1. They were on their backs a year ago. New coach, new NIL bag, new everything. They got them 48-56. Come on, folks. I got Miami 24. They got them at 35-36. Watch this Miami team. They cause havoc. They play up and down. They got great pace, and they rock and roll. I'm going to throw Shaw Holloway in there. Seton Hall, 10-1. They got them at 51-48. Unbelievable. All right, in the Sir, Your Slip is Showing episode, we go down and we go right through it. Ken Palm, Florida has him at 13. Pete should be wafting in right now the Jackson 5. Never can say goodbye on this, so we could say you just don't want to say goodbye to these Blue Bloods. You just think they're part of the fabric and you need them in there. They're 7-4, folks. Florida, they beat nobody. And you want to put them at 13? They're not even in our top 25. Kentucky, 19-7-4. They've been one of the most disappointing teams of the entire year. They're holding on to them at 19, though. St. John's at 18. They're 7-3, and they stink. They stink. I've watched them. They're not very good. I know Rick Pitino's a great coach, but whoever put that roster together, you might want to start figuring some stuff out about basketball. It's not all just athletes. It's not all about defense. It's not all about switching screens. Not all about that. You got to have some guys that can actually shoot, pass, dribble, and run a team. All right, here they go over in Torvik. Tennessee at number 12 at 8-3. Come on. Florida, they got at 18. Kentucky, 26. Arizona, they have it 6th. What are you looking at? They got Auburn and Alabama wins. I don't know. All right. It's tough to be tough, Pete. That's the new thing. That's what the coaches are all speaking about. All right, it's tough to be tough these days. Will Wade, Nate Oates, a bunch of other comments. Tom Izzo recently about their toughness. Wade, I like him as a coach, but man, this guy cannot keep his foot out of his mouth. All right, I'm going to tell you why I think he put it in there pretty big. He goes, we have a 3.0 GPA. This is how he starts off his comment about his team not being tough. He goes, we have a 3.0 GPA. He goes, that's great if you're running a daycare. He goes, but we're not running a daycare. I mean, imagine a coach going, our GPA's way too high.
Wait a minute, didn't he just say the quiet part out loud?
Yeah.
They're not students anymore.
Oh, first off, let's get all the people on that watch our show off the deck right now. Hand out some of those smelling salts to the fact that NC State has a 3.0. Okay? And then let's call Ripley's Believe It or Not and see if we actually do believe that. But again, to rip on your team for having a 3.0, to say they're not tough enough, couldn't you find something else to talk about? I mean, this guy's like clueless, if you ask me. All right. The TV people, well, now you're getting this, okay? We talked about the talking heads, the one message. The TV people are in your locker room now, folks. All right? The TV people are in your locker room right now. They're telling your coach what to do. Who's playing, who's not. We need a list of all that stuff so we can tell all of our gamblers. It's basically a hostage crisis with the game of basketball between TV, agents, coaches, attorneys, vice presidents, presidents, everybody who's not supposed to be involved. They're involved. All right? Now, the gambling, when they put out the gambling stuff, that says, you got to tell us who's playing and you got to tell us who's not playing, just like the NBA does. Okay? You know what that was, Pete?
Red flag.
That was a red flag. But you know what else that was? That was that movie a couple of years ago about the Somali pirates. And they said, look at me now. Who's the captain? I'm the captain right now. These are the betting people telling the NCAA, look in my face. I'm the captain now. Unbelievable. Charlie Faker Baker, oh man, what's he doing? A joke of a tenure. Impossible. Impossible for this all to be coincidence. That's what I say. Every single thing's gone the wrong way. It's impossible for that to be a coincidence. This has to be by design. Unbelievable. All right. That ain't no penny. Episode, section of our show. That ain't no penny. This is going to cause an uproar somewhere, somehow, with somebody. But I like it. Penny Hardaway, coach of the Memphis Tigers. Okay? Brought in a big transfer. Maybe they're paying him good money. And he has trouble getting there on time. Yeah, it's trouble being in the right place at the right time, despite the hundreds of thousands of dollars that he's getting. And he has a trouble making their dress code when they travel. You know, kind of just telling the coaches, what are you going to do? So Hardaway's got NBA background. He played in the NBA. Mm-hmm. All right. And I'm going to tell all those dudes on the Memphis bench, okay? I talked to Kenny Anderson when he came home from the McDonald's camp, one of those ABCD camps. And he was the greatest player that I had ever coached. And I looked him in the eye and I said, was there anybody else there any good? And he goes, nah, not really. I go, ABCD camp? Nobody there? He goes, there's this young kid, and they call him Penny. He's really, really good. But other than that, nobody. And that's Penny Hardaway, folks. So if you're talking to this guy in your locker room, you're talking to one of the best players around when he was young, okay? And if he's telling you he wants you to do stuff, maybe you should listen, because I think he probably has the ear of some NBA scouts, some general managers. You know what he started doing, Pete? I love it. He started finding them.
Yeah, might as well.
Like he's a pro.
Yep.
$3,000 here, $3,000 there.
You making money, you're going to get paid.
Guess who's on time now?
Yeah.
Guess who comes dressed all the time now?
Yeah.
Mr. Bradshaw.
Hit him in their pocketbook.
That's what they do in the NBA.
Yeah.
That's what they do in the NBA. What happens to the money? Does that go back in the NIL pot? All right.
Player it's raining money. It's raining money.
It's raining. It's raining. Player of the year, Pete. College basketball. A.J. DeBonsa right now is our lead guy. Cam Boozer, they're both freshmen. They're both at the top of our draft board right now as well. I probably have Caleb Wilson ahead of Boozer right now, but they're very, very close, and I'm going to take the whole year. I'm going to watch that Carolina-Duke game like I do every single year, and that'll tell me an awful lot. Jaden Bradley from Arizona, they're number one for a reason. Koa Pete's been a freshman lately, but not Jaden. He's been really solid. And Melvin Council, my old St. Bonaventure guy, transferred into Kansas, hit 9 threes the other night. Both Council and Bradley, who's one of the best players in the country, now maybe one or two best players in the country, you know, two of the best guards, certainly. They are now both out of Rochester, New York. Unbelievable. Yaxel Lendenberg, he might get it. He might be the guy. This kid Martinelli over at Northwestern's putting up unbelievable numbers. Nick Martinelli, keep an eye on him. I like P.J. Haggerty's numbers. He's at Kansas State. They're not winning, but he's getting paid, and he's putting up good numbers. Probably have him in our first-round draft as well. Caleb Wilson, I love him. Love Caleb Wilson. All right, Pete. Rookie of the year, we got to go with the same two, DeBonsa, Boozer, Wilson. Those are our three. Throw in Darius Acuff and throw in Kingston Fleming. There's a new name for you, folks. Kingston Fleming from the Houston Cougars. All right, Pete, what do you think's going to happen in January with the portal and the NIL?
I don't know. Is this going to be the quiet year where you have this lull before it really ramps up again, or I don't know.
I'm talking January.
Oh, before the season.
Right now. They can add players right now. There'll be coaches out there. This is a
So
morality
there's a
test.
mid-season trading dedeadline?
They have the trading deadline mid-season.
In the NCAA?
January. Well, you could always do it. In the
Oh.
NCAA, you could always bring them in January. Most people didn't do it. But now they're coming from everywhere. Mongolia, Croatia, anybody, anywhere in the world right now, even if you played pro ball, we bring you in. So in January, right now, when you think finally we got this thing set, we've got it recalibrated, now we know what the rosters look like, now we know who's going to be top 25, now we know who can make a run to the Elite Eight and Final Four. They're going to shake this whole thing up again in January. And you know who's leading the pack?
Who's got the snow globe?
Illinois. Okay? His name's Tony Bilsi. Illinois, out of Croatia, eligible immediately in January. What does that mean? That means he's eligible immediately after the semester ends. This kind of goes to your question. Last day of classes.
Yep.
Last exam period. That ends the first semester. So basketball-wise, you don't wait until after Martin Luther King for second semester to begin. You play now. So this guy, coming in from Croatia, going to be in their lineup now, right now, before January. If they're playing over the break, they can play him right now.
Does
And
this
if
guy
they're
even have-
non-conference
wait a minute.
games, they're going to use those games to see if they can get him wet, see if they can get him ready, invigorate him into your lineup. Now, I'm going to say this to all these coaches out here. A little bit of a morality test out here for some of these coaches. But again, your fan base is going to say, why didn't we do something in January? So you're kind of in a double-edged sword, you know, because these other schools will do it. And then if you sit there, kind of like the Shaka Smart effect, he stayed out of the portal. He's tried to avoid the NIL at all costs. And it's costing him right now in his program because they're not winning. And the fans there are going wild. Why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that? So you're opening yourself up to that type of scrutiny if you go either way. And that's why fear is winning the day. Because all the courageous people, like Shaka Smart, who tried to practice program integrity, they're getting washed up on the shore. Getting washed up on the shore. And if Marquette figures in the bottom half of the Big East this year, you're going to see a lot of heat on their president, athletic director, general manager, booster club, everybody. Get them out. We want a guy in here who can handle the portal, who can handle the NIL, and they want to get it done.
This is like mutual assured destruction.
It is.
It's a nuclear arms race.
It basically is. It's an absolute Wild West show right now. It reminds me of that movie War Games, when they figured out that it was the best thing possible was not to do this at all. But that's where we are. Again, it's a little bit of a test for coaches, you know, mid-year exam for coaches. What are you going to do?
Can you bring a player in?
I can.
As Division III, you can do that too?
And we have.
Okay.
Here's the thing I'll say to coaches. It ain't that easy. It ain't that easy.
No, because that screws up the chemistry in your
You've
team.
already had this chemistry going.
Yeah.
You've already had it locked in. It ain't that easy.
I could see if you didn't have chemistry on the team and you guys were fumbling, I could see bringing somebody in maybe to cement things, but that's it.
Yeah, I fight with it a lot. You know, I fight with it a lot because there are so many different situations out there in Division III. Let me give you one. All right. Maybe a year or two ago, you got a guy on your team, and he doesn't take care of his business academically, right?
Yep.
He gets dismissed from school maybe. He's on probation, double secret probation, you know, all those things that aren't good, you know?
Yep.
And as a coach, you want to be forgiving. You want to do as much as you can. And also, hopefully rehabilitate some guys, you know, that are going to get punched in the nose right now. You know, you're going to be out. You're going to have to leave school. You're going to have to go to community college. You're going to have to turn this thing around and then come back. And so if I get a guy like that who went out, did everything we instructed him to do, repaired his GPA, which was a big, big job and also costs a lot of money because a lot of times your financial aid isn't going to cover that. If somebody is that level of commitment, that's a guy I would bring in January. If you're just going to bring in a guy that's, you know, because the other thing, too, is he was once part of our program.
Oh, it shows he's got work ethic, too.
Some guys will still know him.
Yeah.
And so you have that kind of collegiality. But if you're going to bring in a guy from way, way out in the nowhere lands and start him and take somebody's minutes,
Yep.
that's going to cause a problem.
Yep.
That's going to cause a problem. Pete, I'm really happy to announce we have a new Big O. in college basketball. The old Big O was Oscar Robertson. Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati, great player. On to play for the Cincinnati Royals in ABA, NBA, I believe, too. I don't know if he played in the ABA, but I know he played in the NBA for Cincinnati Royals. Also the Milwaukee Bucks when they teamed him up with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But the new Big O, Pete, is Florida, 7'9" center Olivier Roux.
Wow.
We talked about him. We said if this guy can ever start to get up and down the floor, increase his mobility a little bit, and get somewhere around that basket, he is unbelievably hard to stop because he doesn't even really have to leave the floor too much to dunk the basketball.
Yeah, sure.
He got his first collegiate basket the other night for the University of Florida Gators. I've been waiting on this one. The big guy turns around and does it in style with a big slam dunk. USC Rodney Rice is out for the season. Out for the season. All right. Couple of things here, Pete, and then we'll see what we got. I think I got about 4 minutes.
Correct.
All right. Coach Sampson, Kelvin Sampson. This guy can coach. All right. He's got two very, very talented freshmen on his team. Cenac and Kingston Fleming, the guard we just mentioned, who's flying up everybody's draft board if he was to go out. I want to see some more, but he's pretty good. He's really tough, really fits into that Houston mantra and mold of toughness, play good defense. But this is what Sampson says about his two very, very mercurial freshmen. And the reason I bring this quote up is because I wanted to show the depth of understanding that Coach Sampson presents and possesses in this game. All right? These are two freshmen who were both top 25 in the country. Probably cost Houston a boatload of oil dollars to land them. Okay? But this is what Sampson says, and he says this publicly in his post-game press conference about those two players. He said they gave up as much as they got. And that's what you get a lot of times from rookies, freshmen. They'll give up as much as they got. What does that mean? Well, they scored 12 points, but the guy they were covering scored 16. And the guy they were covering was averaging 7 when he came into the game.
Ooh.
So you might have held your average, but you let their guy go off for 7, 8, 9 points more above his average. So you're giving as much as you're getting.
Yep.
Then talk about turnovers. Getting beat on defense in different places that never shows up in the scoreboard, okay? You get beat backdoor for a layup, okay, because they're looking at you as a coach and they're saying, this guy is only focused on the ball. Let's backdoor him. Let's take him in. And so those things never show up. But those are the things an experienced coach knows. An experienced coach also knows that those things have to be confronted if you're going to be a really, really good team. You have to have spokes on a wheel. And if one of those spokes isn't fully engaged with that wheel, your wheel stinks. Your wheel don't ride like a wheel. You're going to bump and grind all the way through until you fix that spoke or change that spoke. All right? So the in-depth knowledge of what the essence of what we do in that quote for me with Coach Sampson was just really, really unbelievably accurate and in-depth. It says a lot. He's telling these guys, you think you're superstars. And all these NBA people are blowing your head up. And your agent's asking me for more money every single day. Okay? But when I watch film with you guys, you're getting cracked. When I watch film with you guys, you're getting beat off the dribble. When I watch film with you guys, you're losing your man out at the three-point line and giving up wide open shots. Those are the things that don't show up in the scoreboard. Those are the things Sampson knows. Those are the things a great coach knows. Question is, do you have the courage to confront it as a coach, especially with two superstar players like that? I give them great credit. All right, Pete, we got a new nickname to hand out here. Maybe a nickname, I don't know. We're going to call it something. I'm going to take you through it right now. Joel Klatt. Never heard of him. Never heard of him until last week. He took a can of gasoline and a Bic lighter and walked into the proverbial mid-center court of NCAA basketball and lit himself on fire. Okay? But there's a rhyme and a reason here that some people, you got to get. All right? Nobody knew this guy's name. Now everybody knows him.
Yep.
The reason they know him is because he said something incendiary. What he said was the NCAA tournament stinks. It's the least best way to find a true champion. Now, there's a lot to unpack there, but he basically said what we've been saying all along, and I appreciated his honesty. We don't want Cinderella. We don't want Cinderella in the tournament anymore. Okay? So we're calling this now a clat splat, because he just went face first down onto the ground, but rose like a phoenix out of the ashes, because now everybody knows who he is. Comes back the other day and says, I misspoke. That was one of my worst takes of the year. And comes back, and now people know him again. He's hitting this thing with a 1-2 punch. So, folks, the clat splat ain't all it's so bad to be. Hey, we're up on Christmas, folks. Get all your shopping done. Get everything done. But you know what? This week, let's be really nice to everybody. Everybody you see, put a smile on your face. Say hello to them. You don't have to wish them Merry Christmas if you think it might offend somebody, but be nice to people this week, all right? It's really important. Pete, we got to figure out what we're going to do next week because Christmas comes on Thursday.
Yep.
But right now, folks, you're in the zone. We'll see you next week.